Now, the editor of Air and Travel magazine, travel expert Eoghan Corry, is with me in studio to answer all of your holiday questions. 1800 453 106. That is the number. Good afternoon, first of all, Eoghan.
Afternoon.
How are you? Nikki is with us on the line. Nikki, what's your question for Eoghan today?
Hi, Andrea. Hi, Eoghan.
Hi, Nikki.
We were in Rhodes during the wildfires, and the area we were in, we could see them and could see where we were due to move to was in big trouble. So we booked other accommodation, and then our village was evacuated. But we were ahead of the kind of wave of everybody moving, so we were lucky in that sense. But then when I tried to claim for the change in accommodation, the insurance company are saying we're not covered because our holiday wasn't curtailed because we got new accommodation, and we weren't medically told to leave. But I mean, the hotel we were going to burn to the ground, unfortunately, and I'm aware this is very much a first world problem. But I suppose I just feel a little bit hard done by with the insurance that they're saying they won't cover it. I'm just wondering, is it worth appealing?
Eoghan.
Very hard to comment on an individual case. It looks very cut and dried from what I hear. If your accommodation is under threat, you have certainly have all these grounds under insurance. Now, the big question is, if you make the decision yourself, sometimes the insurance companies say, you should have waited for official guidance and for us to rebook. I don't think, given the scale of this problem in Rhodes, the number of evacuations, Lardos was a very popular resort, and all the hotels were evacuated there. I think that you have a very strong case. I'm in no position to, pretend to be an expert witness in court or anything on this. But what happens is that the cases are treated on an individual basis by the insurance companies. Their lawyers look at the scale of it and the prospect of losing an appeal on this, and that's where you should go with it.
So, sorry, you're appealing, Eoghan, sorry, it's to the insurer, your own...
It's a travel insurance issue if it's not a tour operator. Tour operators were quite good at compensating and relocating and giving other dates. TUI are a very big operator. They're the main tour operator to this, to the resort, the affected town and the island in general. But there is consumer rights legislation is very much on your side on this. And as I say, without being the expert...
that we received from the government to evacuate and leave and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So appeal.
I have screenshots of all that.
It's as close to a clear-cut case in this, and there's a lot of peripheral cases in this. It's as close to a clear-cut as I've heard.
So lodge the appeal with the insurer.
Absolutely. Insurer will... conversation with insurer first. If the insurer doesn't yield, then it's a consumer rights issue, and the European Consumer Rights Centre is the place to go.
Nikki, thanks a million. I hope that helps in some way for your in answering your query today. It's 1800 453 106 is the number if you have a question for Eoghan Corry. John is on the line. John, what's your query today?
My query is to do with, we have holidays booked to the Algarve on the 17th from Knock. Now, I have all my insurance in place. It's just, I'm looking for his advice as to what would he do if he was in my position.
Afternoon, John. I would travel. It's beyond your decision. It's not an individual decision. Is it safe to travel and get your money back? What tends to happen is government issues guidance. Even in road situation, they didn't say don't fly to the island. They said don't go to the affected area. What we've seen in Portugal in 2017 was a calamitous year for them. Is that the wildfires and the forest fires tended not to go near the tourist destinations, but one tourist destination has been in Alentejo has been affected by this. Tour operators, insurance companies are aware of this, and they tend to jump a little bit ahead of the game in evacuation and in offering changes of date. If they come back to you with a change of date, if you're with a tour operator, that gives you some sort of bargaining power. The real problem is people who book direct tend to be up against a stone wall with the airline, so there's very little chance of getting your money back unless there's a government guidance not to go. And the Algarve should be, it's a huge area and it's very popular with Irish. It wasn't affected 2017. I'd be really surprised if it's affected this time around.
When are you due to go, John?
On the 17th.
17th of this month. Yeah. You're saying go.
I'd say go.
Go.
Absolutely.
Enjoy it, John.
Absolutely, and enjoy.
Yeah. Listen, 1800 453 106 is the number if you've a question here for Eoghan Corry today. This texter, Owen, says, I'm struggling to get travel insurance. I'm 47. I had cancer 2 years ago. Companies won't insure me now. Is there anything I can do? Hoping to head to New York. Yes,
there is. New York is the most expensive in terms of ordinary travel, your ordinary common or garden travel insurance. That applies where everybody, cancer treatment, chemotherapy, generally there's an insurer willing to take you. It does cost more. The difference is that you can't go online, do all that quote, fill out the little form. It really comes back to a longer conversation beforehand with medical records, things like that. And it applies to elderly people in their 70s and 80s, even into their 90s. The companies that do it, it goes back to the underwriters who do it rather than the companies. There's not very many of them, and they're very reluctant to deal in the Irish market because we're a bit more litigious than other nations. But go to your broker, and a broker will find somebody. And go to, companies like Blue Insurance, it won't be on their website. Over 70 apply here, or people with cancer apply here. It is possible to get it. It is more expensive, and it does involve chasing around. If you're in Northern Ireland, the post office, I'd always give us a good example, but I don't think they deal in the 26 counties.
Okay. Ursula's with us on the line. Ursula, what's your question?
Oh, hi. Thanks very much. I booked accommodation with Airbnb. It was advertised as the entire apartment, 3-bedroom apartment in Lake Garda for up to 5 people. 3 of us turned up and found that only 2 bedrooms were open, and we were told by the host that they would not open the 3rd bedroom, leaving one of our party to have to sleep on the sofa. We've appealed to Airbnb immediately, and we got no satisfaction despite numerous communications to them.
It's a bit It's a bit still. Airbnb is sort of franchised to the individual hosts, and is a little bit still caveat emptor, buyer beware. Now, Airbnb are quite powerful. What they can do is take a host off their books. They don't really have that much power elsewhere. But I would continue to pursue it with Airbnb. That under Advertising Standards Acts, all of those sort of things, what you was described and sold to you is not what you was delivered. And again, the European Consumer Centre operates throughout the European Union. Not as satisfying as dealing with a hotel or a hotel group or a tour operator, but there certainly is a case to be pursued there, and that's your next step.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And could I just ask, is that the European Consumer Centre or the Small Claims Court?
Small Claims Court is a parallel, and it's a legal system. The European Consumer Centre tends to bring up consumer cases and pursue them with the companies involved. The fact it's with Airbnb and not some small local regional operator is a big help to you. It's the one in Molesworth Street.
Thanks a million, Ursula, for getting in touch with us today.
Thanks, Ursula.
Just want to get through 2 quick ones. There's a lot of texts actually on the gorse fires and the wildfires and people travelling abroad due to go.
It's very simple. If they cancel, they reschedule you, but it's not your right just to cancel.
You can't just cancel because you're anxious
and get your money
it.
back. Now, the reality is that tour operators and travel agents have been very good at rescheduling dates, and people who've booked independently have tended to get some sort of leeway from Aer Lingus, for instance. Ryanair less so, but it comes down to government. It has to be a government directive saying don't travel before you get all your money back.
A couple in their 60s, late 60s, want to head abroad in November. They usually go to Spain, love that kind of holiday vibe, but they want to try something different. Where do you recommend?
Spain and Portugal, there's nothing to beat it. There are other regions in Spain, northern Spain, inland Spain. If you're familiar with Spain, you can actually spend your entire life going back to the 22 provinces and places that you've never been before. But do think of Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, all of those Mediterranean regions. If you're going to Spain in November, it's more or less the same weather. The sunniest of the islands would be Cyprus, and if you're a little bit adventurous, go to somewhere like Jordan. Middle East, wonderful, exotic and not expensive product. That's a place but it's a real open your atlas, point it anywhere around the Mediterranean if you're used to Spain. But as I keep saying, Spain, people think they know Spain because they go to Nerja. There are 22 provinces, each more beautiful than the last. Alentejo, by the way, has direct flights from Ireland now. It's a fantastic, not Alentejo, Asturias has direct flights from Ireland.
Des is wondering just quickly about the parking at Dublin Airport, going to Spain in 2 weeks, hasn't booked the parking yet. What will he do?
You'll still get your spot in 2 weeks. It's the people who are booking with 2-3 days to go are running into problems. Blue car park tends to be less stressed than the others, but it really is bad news that those 6,000 quick park spaces still have not been released and don't look like being released till quite a while.
Travel expert Eoghan Corry, thanks a million
Always a great
for
pleasure,
your time
Andrea.
on the programme today.